In marine biology, we have a slight obsession with things being large. A prime example of this was a couple of weeks ago. Lizzie Daly and Sharkman Dan, who are two great people that you should follow on Instagram and Twitter, they both found a giant barrel jellyfish on a dive, and it went viral. Absolutely incredibly viral. It went round newspapers around the world. Now, I love that this happened because it was showcasing Lizzie Daly's week of marine life, and it just added publicity and press to it. But it really got me thinking, why are we so obsessed with things being large or huge? No one cares about the billions and millions of jellyfish that are small in our sea, so why did this one giant jellyfish cause such a palaver? Now, I love all things little, so this is a bit of a problem for me. I love that the hundreds of thousands of individuals that are small and tiny make up this amazing and diverse ecosystem. But I can't wave a magic wand and make all of these a lot larger. But it did get me thinking about what I could do. And instead, I decided to use magic to make me smaller.
Way, it worked! Welcome to the mini version of myself. Yes, it's me, Mini Marine Mumbles. Now we can only be surrounded by giant species. Oh my god, look how big this anemone is! It looks so squishy, but I'm a bit scared to touch it. Now in my miniature form, I'm even more dedicated to show you guys some awesome creatures. So I need my camera! And if I'm going to be getting in the water and going completely under, I'm going to need some more hardcore equipment. So, yay! I have full diving gear. Oh no, when you're this small, one rock pool does seem like an awfully long way to explore. Luckily for me, I've got a Bob. Bob, come help! This is going to be a lot easier thanks to Bob and his boat. Now all aboard and off we go! I'm ready to take my first plunge and find you guys some giant species. Camera at the ready, here we go. It's not every day you see littorinids as long as your legs. How awesome to see these snails up close. Some of the laws change when you're diving as a very tiny individual. I have a safety line attached to Bob on the boat above, though I do not ever recommend you tie yourself up when you're diving as a full-sized human. Wow, our first giant fish. Isn't this little goby amazing? Wow, and his brother's even more stunning. What will we find next? When you're small, you can get a really good look at the tiny things. These are gorgeous little hydroids. Did you know that some jellyfish have hydroid life stages? That means they'll look just like this before they bud off into tiny little jellyfish babies. Oh, that was so cute. As I swim along, it's really cool to see all the different species, but I have to say, the fact that you're so much smaller does make some of the species a bit more intimidating. I did freeze when I ran into my first crab. And I had a bit of a scare when I accidentally bumped into an anemone. It shot thousands of nematocysts into my flipper, which, as a normal sized human, it just feels sticky. But when you're so small, it does make you a lot more wary. A species that I was more than happy to meet was these gorgeous and inquisitive little prawns. They were happy to hang around and get used to my tiny presence. So I was able to film some up close shots for you. Being this small, these species look like gentle giants. I don't have to worry about them eating me unless, well, I don't fare too well, because these are scavengers, so only really eat things that are already dead. Sometimes in life you've got to do the things that scare you, and I can't resist getting up close with an enemy again. I had to resist the temptation to become scared by this anemone, because it looks like the exact monster Luke Skywalker gets fed to in Star Wars, and just take in how unbelievably beautiful and amazing these creatures are. Especially when you're tiny, you can really appreciate just what it would be like to be a little bit of plankton that's getting eaten by this anemone right now. After that thrill-seeking moment, I decided to go and find some old friends of mine that I really didn't have to worry about. Hi! Look at this little guy, or shall I say, giant snail. I was getting pretty peckish by now and asked this little dude if he fancied sharing his light seaweed snack, but apparently he was very, very hungry and needed it all for himself. That, or he was just being rude. But I stayed around anyway, and we had a good old chat, me and my snail friend. As my snail friend got very, very bored of our conversation, he very, very slowly moved away, and I decided to try and find one last species before it was time for me to resurface. But as I did look around, I just took a moment to really take in how awesome this place is. It's not like a normal forest. This is a underwater amazing forest where every different thing is a different shape and a different colour, and when you're tiny you really just appreciate just how cool and awesome it is. But with that crab in the top left corner looking very ominous and me looking tall, I decided to find my friends quickly before resurfacing. I used my tiny camera to film these busy friends. I couldn't resist getting up close with these gorgeous hermit crabs, but I was a bit scared and didn't get too close because, I don't know, there's just something about being tiny that scares me slightly more. Soon enough, Bob collected me and I was back on the boat. After very, very tired, needed a bit of a lie down after my adventures, but I made it back to shore safely, and I just needed one last bit of magic to make me back to being big.
Oh, God, I feel so big again. Well, that was an adventure, my word. Things are definitely a lot scarier when you're smaller, but also a million times more amazing. Thank God for magic. Well, that's it for today's video, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed Mini Me, because I enjoyed Mini Me, because being mini is awesome, and I love to use my magical powers to become a small, plastic, tiny person. Such a good use of the magic. If you like the video, then let me know and I will do more Mini Me videos where I will get super up close and personal with all our favourite giant small species, and yeah, and have more of a laugh with you guys. Have a fantastic week. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye guys.